Happy Friday, everybody. We're giving this another shot. We will see how it goes. Is a little after 12 Newfoundland time, quarter after 12 on Newfoundland time. And we'll see. I look like I'm a regular 22-year-old G. Patrick Condon here with the blazer t-shirt, baseball cap combo. Better days. But these days aren't too bad either. So we're going to get into some of the news of the week fairly quickly. And it was another big week for old Donald D. Bag Trump and his MAGA crew. The week started off with the possibility of a nuclear war on being threatened on Easter Sunday. And here it is now, Friday, and war's over. And we're back into the Epstein files now after this bizarre Melania Trump press conference that apparently came out of nowhere, and nobody really knew anything about it, and she didn't really say anything new. I guess the most interesting thing about it is that her even talking about it, just bringing it back into the national dialogue again, kind of makes you wonder what these people who thought the entire point of the Iran war was to put Epstein on the back burner, with even some highly powerful political people in Canada, such as Manitoba Premier Wap Canoe, who openly thought that this whole thing was about Epstein. This whole Iran war was about Epstein, which is just silly. And then another thing that was silly that came out of that is although I disagree with what Premier Canoe was saying, he referred to the war as a war for the Epstein class, which apparently is anti-Semitic. The Jews do not want anybody called the Epstein class because it is a dog whistle for anti-Semitism, apparently. So it's all very complicated, isn't it? All right, so let's go back to the beginning of the week when the leader of the free world, Donald Trump, on Easter Sunday, no less, gave an alarming Truth Social. It's not a tweet; it's a Truth Social, and I was going to get into this thing of bringing Donald Trump's tweets to life, but it's not as easy as you would think with AI. But anyways, let's just hear a little bit. So the weirdest thing about all that, he didn't really say that he was going to drop a nuclear bomb. People kind of ran with that. Fair enough. The weirdest thing is the praise to Allah. And I guess it was some sort of sarcastic barb that he was throwing at the people of Iran. And it being on Easter Sunday, it really makes things complicated. But anybody that has been following Trump, for, my God, how long have we been dealing with all this now? 2015. And so, yeah, we're at the 11-year mark now of this whole thing, this whole mega thing. And as a result of this tweet that he sent out, he has pushed away some of his first supporters, I guess, because obviously he ran on No More Forever Wars. He ran on a platform that was called MAGA, that has been coined MAGA for Make America Great Again. And this is not a new political populist movement. This is something that really started up back in 2008 with the election of Barack Obama and with Sarah Palin coming on the national scene. And that's when you started to hear some of the things that would eventually become MAGA. At that time, Donald Trump was not MAGA. He didn't say any of these things. He was not about going to church. He wasn't about Christian values. He was about Donald Trump. He was probably still doing The Apprentice around this time. So he was a TV star, and he was the Donald Trump that most of us remember. The Howard Stern show, the appearances, the hairstyle, blah, blah, blah. And so there's a documentary that came out recently that I don't know if it was directed by Steve Bannon, but Steve Bannon, who was kind of the guy that connected with Trump when he announced in 2015, Steve Bannon was talking about how this whole populist America First movement, Steve Bannon had originally planned for Sarah Palin to be the figurehead, the mascot for this. And Sarah Palin had had enough at that point. She was in the public eye for maybe, I don't know, like 8 years, I guess, at that point. The Tea Party, the new Tea Party, or whatever that was called, the Tea Party, I think it was, which was a Republican far right, they said, offshoot. And so Steve Bannon thought that Sarah Palin would be the perfect person with the timing correct at around the end of Barack Obama's second term, that this would be the ideology to get somebody elected president. Palin said no. Trump announced he was running, and I guess if you were to talk or read between the lines of what Steve Bannon's saying, Trump was sort of just fit into that slot, or he decided to take over that slot. And since then, many people have forgotten about really who Donald Trump was in popular culture from the 80s, 90s, and into the 2000s, 2010s. And he has always been a grifter. And a lot of people were warning people that were thinking about voting for Trump that this is a grifter. This guy is a liar. Don't hitch your way into him. Don't attach yourself to his star, his rising star, because he doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't have any ideology. He believes in Trump. For better or for worse, he got elected in 2016 off a populist mandate and a close the borders mandate. He, I guess, did all right enough, but he was still, from my memory, he was still the Donald Trump that I remember. It was still like 4 years of just kind of going, I can't believe Donald Trump is the president of the United States. It's Donald Trump. But then what happened after he lost his election that he disputes in 2020 was the 4 years in between, he became a political figure. And it all kind of accumulated, came to the climax when he got shot in the ear in Butler. And how he handled that immediately. I'm talking about as soon as he was shot in the ear, and as soon as he stood up, and he didn't freak out, and he was, he did the fight thing and the photos and all that kind of stuff. That was when Donald Trump transitioned from Donald Trump celebrity to Donald Trump politician. I know that when he got shot in the ear, which I do think actually happened, I know that there's like these weird conspiracy theories in the world where like people think that they can it's like a part of it's part of, you talk to normal people and they'll think that whole assassination attempt was an inside job that Donald Trump put together, even though, like, somebody died, so somebody did get shot there, meaning that there was a live bullet in play that Donald Trump just, trusted whoever was shooting it was not going to shoot him. Or maybe, they even measured it so that he knew that his ear was going to get hit just a millimeter or whatever. It's preposterous to think that somebody like Donald Trump would believe something like that. And then for a photo shoot, and then really, like, he didn't even get a full week before the media kind of just went right back into hating on him. He got like maybe 3 or 4 days grace, and then by the time of the Republican convention, that was done. People were okay. That's enough. Yes, yes. You survived allegedly getting shot in the head. Why are you talking about this? You're wearing a bizarre bandage on your ear. Why? So he didn't get much out of it. So I don't think that he would have orchestrated the whole thing. Don't think that it did a whole lot for him. However, there were some people, myself included, that were impressed that he kept his composure after getting shot in the air. I don't know that I would do that. I think that's a real test of authenticity for anybody. And I would say that if anybody out there wonders whether or not they're being grifted by somebody, they should see what happens when they get shot, nearly shot. Not saying that they should arrange for that, but that's a real litmus test as far as I'm concerned of showing who you are. I think maybe I would cry. Maybe I would freak out. I would all these things that I would worry about. I really hope it never happens to me because I think that I would probably end up crying. Maybe I don't know. I would like to think that I would stand up and go fight. Or is that what he said? He said fight. So anyways, here we are now, and he sent out this tweet at the beginning of the week that freaked everybody out. Amongst them, his own base. And so there is a lot of cracks in his MAGA movement. I think the very first guy that was on Trump's bandwagon was Alex Jones. And Alex Jones has his fans, but he also has his reputation. I don't know that did a whole lot for him. Trump, I don't think Alex Jones's approval, endorsement did a whole lot for Trump. But as Trump became more powerful in 2016 during the Republican primaries, you start, and the writing was on the wall that this guy was going to win. You started to see people that were either treated him as a joke or were very much anti-Trump, but were Republicans, started to bend the knee. And so that includes Tucker Carlson. If you watch Tucker Carlson talking about Trump in 2016, before Trump was anything, when it was before it was inevitable, he was not a Trump guy. And of course, neither was Megyn Kelly, who tried to get him in that very first debate with the Rosie O'Donnell response. So she was not doing him any favors either. She was working for Fox. And that will tell you, if she's asking that question to Donald Trump first, straight out of the gate in his first debate, that'll tell you what was going on behind the scenes too. So Donald Trump didn't have these people. Nobody was really on Trump's side from the get-go. It was momentum. And, it's interesting to try to think back what the Republican Party was before Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. Everybody thought that it was going to be Jeb Bush. And Jeb Bush is a neocon, potatoes, steak and potatoes, beef and potatoes, Republican, really, pretty much what Trump is doing now is what Jeb would have done right away, and that's what he was offering. And so there was a real change within the Republican party, both officially Republican and the media and the hangers-oners and the sycophants, and they all were very much not into Trump, not into Trump's philosophy, Steve Bannon's philosophy, which could have gone to Sarah Palin. She said no, so it goes to Trump. Trump doesn't believe in anything. Trump believes in himself, in the most satanic, egotistical way. This guy does believe that he is bigger than God. And fair enough. What a life, What a life. Maybe you do get to, but I mean, that hubris may be his ultimate undoing. Point being is that now we are in 2 years. He only has 2 years left. There's no way that he's sticking around, and he's going into lame duck territory. Lame duck will be completely sped up come October, when the elections happen and the Republicans are going to lose majority in both houses. I have no doubt. Mark it down. There's no chance. There's nothing he can do now. We are in the beginning of April. That is what, like 5 months from now or something like that. 6 months from now, he can't do enough. There's not enough that can be done. And it's not like the Democrats are really bringing much to the table, but it's their game to lose. And so all they have to do is nothing. They don't have to do anything, and it will be okay. Not that they have anybody that is within that party that has any kind of direction of where the Democrats are going now. Maybe they will find somebody that is like a Donald Trump that will, take the Democrats in this completely new direction. Who knows? But either way, Trump is done. And now, as things happen, when a political leader, when a powerful person begins to lose power and the writing is on the wall, people bail. And so amongst those was not first out of the gate, but definitely, not a day one-ish, but maybe a year one, maybe like by the time it got to the election in 2016, Tucker Carlson, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Tucker Carlson is a bit of an idiot, and I don't think that much of what he has to say should be taken seriously, but it is taken seriously. 5.5 million subscribers, and the video I'm about to show you has about 2 million views that started. This is from 3 days ago. So this is his monologue. And basically, Tucker Carlson, who has been in this whole thing enough to stake his whole reputation, I guess, on Trump. I think it's too late for him to walk it back, especially now that he is saying that he thinks that Trump is the Antichrist. I mean, what a thing for him to be upset about, to get his panties in a bunch, if you will. Donald Trump has been swearing. He swears all the time. He's very unpresidential. So this shouldn't be a surprise. And I don't know why Tucker Carlson gives a fuck about Donald Trump writing fucking in a Truth Social meme. Like, is that the thing? You're not supposed to swear on Easter Sunday? Maybe that, I don't think you're supposed to, you probably shouldn't swear any Sunday. Elected. And he is now, Tucker Carlson has got this guy elected. He's been talking about Donald Trump for over a decade now. And he has fallen for the grift. The grift being, now Donald Trump has many grifts, but this grift is that Donald Trump will tweet out something crazy, and then the people he is threatening will have to wonder, is this real, or is he crazy enough to do this, or is this fake out? And this is what happens all the time. He did this back in 2018 against North Korea. And so why is it now that Tucker Carlson, who should be the smartest guy in the game, knows Donald Trump, talks about Donald Trump all the time, it's the Tucker Carlson show, and he believes and is feeding in to the idea that Donald Trump is going to bomb Iran in a couple of days. Nuclear bomb. Right. And so, again, like, what's happening here is Tucker Carlson is getting worked. He is believing the work, which is Donald Trump is, where does the work begin? Well, he believes that Donald Trump gives a shit about Christianity or gives a shit about Allah. So he's getting worked there. And then he's also getting worked in that he thinks that Donald Trump it's useful. Ouch. There's a lot of infighting amongst the people here, but basically what happened on the Mark Levin show was Levin tried to, without really saying it, suggest that that nuclear nuclear aggression might be the best way, might be the most peaceful way, whatever. I mean, Trump knew that he was going to say yes.
We liberated Iran.
So that is hysteria. And I mean, it's so hysterical.
Everything hangs in the balance right now.
There you go. So where is it beginning and ending for Tucker Carlson? Like, is this something that he is putting out there? He looks hysterical. Is this something that he is putting out there purely for the purposes of getting views? Either way, I mean, the way that he words his whole monologue is that he doesn't come out and say that he thinks that this bombing is going to happen. So he's not wrong. You can't say that Tucker Carlson fell for it or thought that this was going to happen. But he certainly, his take on it.
Things that matter to the things that we can across many states, defended him for 10 years, still like him, doesn't matter. You cannot compare a president.
This is pretty good, actually. I'll go back to this because
during holy.
So yeah, he invited. So Trump invited some religious leaders.
A gathering to which many American Protestant leaders, big ones, Franklin Graham included.
So you can even see right there. It's like, at first he was like, yeah, a little nod, like, yeah, I can see where you're going. And then the betrayal, he's like, the wheels are turning. It's like she's about to compare me to Jesus, I think. So he stops, but then whoever this dude is on the side, that's when he starts his head going. Yeah. Trump is right now is like, oh my God, she's about to compare me.
And false.
It's like, all right. So I don't think Trump was on
for him.
But it is real, and Israel. Israel. And so that was Tucker Carlson's take on the whole thing. It's that's a Monday monologue there by him. He is watched by, like I said, millions and millions of people, and his approach to it is, this is hysterical. Trump is an antichrist, and so that's what he had to say about it. Now, I don't listen to Tucker Carlson for my news, and the point of all this is you shouldn't either. Anybody that's watching this, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, don't watch Tucker Carlson for information, because he is he's either not wise or he's just doing it for entertainment purposes. Funny enough, though, I'm going to go to Mr. Bill O'Reilly, and before I play you the clip from Mr. O'Reilly, now this is on Monday, so this is right after the clip, or right after the tweet. So the tweet is Easter Sunday, and now all of the Republican commentators are coming out on Monday with the big news, and clicks. So Bill O'Reilly, who has a fifth of what Tucker Carlson has in terms of subscriptions, he's got 1.1 million. And I'm looking at a video right now that has 380K viewers. Bill O'Reilly has a direct line to Donald Trump. He says it a lot. He's on the air talking about it 3 times a week. And that's where I get all my information from. Now, I don't necessarily agree with everything that O'Reilly says, but if there is anybody that should be listened to within the media landscape, if you want to know what is going on inside Trump's head, Bill O'Reilly is the guy. I'm going to say that again. If over the next 2 years, until Trump inevitably turns on Bill O'Reilly too, when O'Reilly says something he doesn't like, and you want to know what's going on, Bill O'Reilly is the place to go and watch. I was never an O'Reilly guy when I was growing up. I was a big old lefty. But now in the lead up to the 2024 election, I think that might have been around the time that he started posting on YouTube. Anyways, Bill O'Reilly on YouTube, and the guy is always accurate, at least. His commentary, yes and no. But anyways, this is what he says. Bill O'Reilly said. So there you go. if you, like myself, had been watching the O'Reilly Factor on Monday, you would be going to bed nice and well rested because Mr. O'Reilly, I should say, Mr. O'Reilly has said that they were going to extend the deadline a week, and it ended up being 2 weeks. So there you go. I went to bed. I was, and so sleep soundly. I think I had a great dream. I highly recommend listening to and watching Bill O'Reilly for your own peace of mind. Now, again, I don't agree with everything he says. He believes that this Iranian war, the Iranian war, is justified because of the nukes and the nuke program and blah blah blah. But it's not. It can be frustrating listening to him sometimes. But the reason he's getting this info is because he is in natural agreement with the president of the United States so much. I don't know. Either way, glad to have him around. Now, I'm going to play one more clip from this past, and this is surprising because I don't watch this guy at all. I remember him as kind of being a buffoon. No offense. No offense to Glenn Beck, who I remember being a bit of a buffoon when he was on TV. I think he had like the big close up on his eyes. I think that was him, and like he would cry and stuff. It was wild. I don't really even want to play too much of it, but I just want to show that like the information from him is a lot better than Tucker Carlson if you need it, because he kind of saw this right away or called it out. Maybe everybody sees it, but he's the one that said it. That is that this is so commonplace for Mr. Trump to tweet these things that we shouldn't be taking seriously.
Europe, it's happening with Russia. It's happening with
Canada,
those who have been
world,
playing
terrorists and us alike. So a lot of good points here from Glenn Beck. Credit where credit is due from Mr. Glenn Beck. So, and this is where I'm still trying to work out stuff in my head about what it is that's actually going on. I think the fact that Trump's media base is bailing on him, and they are now very worried. They don't like what he's doing. They're talking about the 25th Amendment, which is like removing the president out of power if they don't have sound mind, which has been coming up a lot in the last with Biden too. I think ultimately, whoever the next president is, let's hope that they are young enough that we can't realistically, or we couldn't plausibly think that they have developed Alzheimer's or dementia. That would be my suggestion to the American people in 2028. Whoever you vote for, let's try and get the age, get them in the 50s maybe, or early 60s. Like, let's not put these people in, not put these guys in that are at the end of their life. It's a host of problems. But now that so I'm still trying to sort of to figure out that, if you're Iran and you see a tweet like this and you are seeing his base go, we don't believe this, we aren't, this is not what we want, this is crazy, and he keeps moving forward, doesn't that just sell the work? His tweet that he is going to bomb them, doesn't that, like, if you are there, you're going, if you're in Iran or you're going against him in any kind of way, and you're going, wow, like, he does not give a fuck at this point, we better listen to him because maybe this guy is crazy. And then also they're talking about waiting him out for 2 years. Everybody's just looking at waiting him out for 2 years, and ultimately this is where I think the whole point of this is, and this is the ultimate grift, is that there is no continuation of this MAGA movement once Donald Trump is done with it. It's an ideology that he never cared about. I don't think he believes in anything. He was a Democrat for years, and he was, pro-life and all of the things. And then once he saw opportunity to latch on to this Barack Obama birth certificate truther thing, he made the jump. And I don't think he has any ideology. I don't think he has. I don't believe he believes in a fucking thing, and he doesn't care about it. And he is just doing whatever he needs to do now to ride it out. He's not going to be taking any more bullets to the head for an ideology. I thought that maybe he was going to do stuff when he first got in. And you're hearing from a lot of people that a generational president. He's going to do all the things that everybody, that all presidents before him sold out. They were scared to do. And he's not going to do any of it because it doesn't matter to him. Like he's mission accomplished, He is he's not going to go to jail or anything after this. I don't think he's done anything that warrants him going to jail, but he's going to ride it out. He's gonna do whatever Israel says so that he doesn't get in any trouble. Nobody's gonna be taking any shots at him. He's not gonna get Kennedy'd. He's not gonna get I don't want to go too far down that path, but he is just going to be business as usual. He's going to put out a bunch of pardons in the waning days of his presidency. We, just like Joe Biden, on the way at the door, covering everybody's ass, and then that's it. He's going to have the biggest library. He's going to have like a skyscraper library, and he's going to put his name on it, and that will be it. And that's all that he was really ever in this for. And where his brilliance comes from, where the art of the deal comes from, is that on his way up, he saw a movement that he could exploit, that he could be the figurehead from, and he could ride that into history and ride it into being the presidency. The funny thing is what is going to happen to the Republican Party in 2028? Like, maybe J.D. Vance and Rubio are going to be running. They're going to be distancing themselves from Donald Trump and the decisions that he's made now. So any, mega stuff, I think, is going to be right in on the wind. We're not going to be hearing that associated with anybody with the Republican Party. And then the question is, who is the Republican Party after this? They're going to be, hopefully the Democrats are going to have it figured out. This is the crazy thing about the whole election system in the States and in Canada too. Even though you have a bunch of parties, you're essentially just going back and forth. And it's like, who can figure it out? And then, we're at a place now where all of these, people that were brought into the big tent of MAGA, where are they going to go now when this is all said and done? I feel betrayed, and Republicans are not going to continue on with this. But then you go and you look over at the Democrats, and the Democrats are still like, they're still doing identity stuff. So it's going to be kind of like 2016. I think the 2028 election is, where it's like, it's going to be a lot of people in those primaries looking for the nomination. And I think we might not be talking about the people that end up ultimately on that ticket in one of the two cases, or maybe both. We'll see where it's at. But either way, I mean, like, the grift is over, guys, and everybody should feel very foolish. Anybody that signed up for this Donald Trump is an ideologue and cares about the guy likes gold. He wants people to just agree with him. And if you don't agree with him, well, then you get a truth or a social media post of what he put out last night. There's times like this that I wish that I could do a Donald Trump impression. And only once in my life had I ever been. New York. Where's all that stuff? Benjamin Flowers. By the way, in case you didn't know, he ended up doing a 2-week ceasefire. The war allegedly is over. Strait is open, but now it's not, and whatever. It's just a fucking mess. And so here's what he wrote 19 hours ago. It's 500 words. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people, they know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off TV, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut job troublemakers and will say anything necessary for some free, cheap publicity. Now they think they could get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. He's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accused the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man, when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is far more beautiful than that Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now fake news, CNN, the failing New York Times, and all other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers. And when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Trader Brown, who I no longer care, but I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength. It's not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. So there you go. I mean, that is a ruthless, aggressive takedown of 4 people that at various points jumped on the Trump bandwagon, and now I guess they're tossed off if they haven't jumped off on their own. And the larger picture with all this is that the MAGA movement, which Donald Trump sort of just brings up, he is MAGA, whatever. I don't even know what that means. It's a feeling, maybe. MAGA is the friends you make along the way. MAGA is the gleam in a little girl's eyes on Christmas morning when she opens the present and sees that red hat. MAGA is the feeling of friendship that you know will last this lifetime and many lifetimes after. MAGA is the hope that you see in the elderly people at church when they're talking about the next generation. MAGA is inside all of us, but especially Donald Trump. MAGA is not inside Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, or Alex Jones. And perhaps it never was, which is the saddest thing about this whole rift. Maybe these media guys were just jumping on a bandwagon, and now they're jumping off once they see that the end is near. And like I said, this is a bandwagon that Donald Trump himself will be jumping off. And as that bandwagon careens off of a cliff, the only people that will be left on it are the foolish, hopeful people that were on it beforehand, that put a guy like Donald J. Trump as their savior, as the guy that was going to fix everything and think about them while he was in office. I want to play a little bit now from another OG that was not mentioned in this tweet. I think, unfortunately for him, I think he wishes that he probably was in there, but his name is Nick Fuentes. He is, I don't even know if I'm going to be monetized after this. He is a controversial figure, Nick Fuentes. And so let's see. He's had some interesting things to say. So let's see what he has to. And that's true. And that goes even before Donald Trump going to bankruptcy, like, and sending people away, sending people to the bottom. This is predates. This is Donald Trump, the businessman, the celebrity. Why he was afforded anything that a normal politician wouldn't be afforded, such as trust and belief. It doesn't make any sense. And he's right. I mean, Nick is right. Every person that has gone to bat for Trump has paid the price. And that's even amongst his followers. It goes beyond even the high profile cases. I'm talking about people that just voted for him, openly supported him, losing job opportunities, losing family members, losing relationships, because they believed in him. They believed in a sales guy, that doesn't have any beliefs. That's right. I mean, I don't think that he ever believed in any of it. And anybody that did should feel foolish. It's Donald Trump. Like, we under like a amnesia, like, collectively? I know a lot of people have been saying this since the beginning, but he did win. I don't know if you heard this. He did win the popular vote in all the swing states in the next election. So a lot of people really just like forgot who they were dealing with, and believed in Donald Trump to save them. And I thought that too. I thought that I thought that Trump wanted to be the most impactful, game-changing president in modern history. That he wanted to go down in the books like, whoever you would say, your Mount Rushmore is whoever, Washington, Lincoln, Trump, number 4. He wanted to be amongst that. And so I thought that meant he would be doing all these things. I think a lot of people thought he would be doing a lot of things, but the fact is he doesn't have to do any of that. He's still going to go down in the history books, and he's still going to get as much as he wanted. As George W. Bush once said, who cares about history? I'm butchering it. Who cares about history? By the time it's written, we're all going to be dead. So, so Trump is getting what he wanted without having to really do anything, but he got a lot of people to believe in him, and that's how he ended up getting elected. And bummer. It's true. And yet it's just one of those things that as everything is happening, you see that he's tossing people out that were with him from the beginning, and keep moving forward. And now, as Mr. Nick Fuentes just said, you take a look back and you start to add it all up, and it's so many people. Like, anybody that went to bat for him, went to jail, died. Like, he didn't do anything for them. He hasn't done anything from them. He's distanced himself from all these people. There was no pardons, because ultimately, I guess he just didn't really care because he's Donald Trump. Because he's Donald Trump. All right, let's see. I think there's probably maybe a couple of minutes left that's worth watching on this. Let's see. And I'll just say that like Nick Fuentes is one of these guys that also was freaking out about Trump. Was freaking out about Trump nuclear weapons on Iran on Sunday. On Sunday, he was freaking out about it, and very much like Tucker Carlson, didn't like the swearing and blah blah blah. And now, come Tuesday, he's saying that Trump chickened out. So I mean, Trump couldn't win in this, but Fuentes, who was a really early supporter of Trump, has jumped off that bandwagon and is turned into one of these
Islam. It is what it is. Give up any concessions. The negotiations are projects.
Now we're back on track. Thank you for your patience.
He is this October 7th rolling campaign by Israel, a genocide in Gaza, drawing the United States into a war with Iran. What if he could have had an America First president that would have been anti-immigration and would have resisted the Israel lobby and maybe even put them in their place in some kind of confrontation? But we all know that could have never happened because Trump.
And that's probably the best point of it all is that, and the saddest thing is that people had been, wondering within the Republican Party and the MAGA movement, who's going to be next? Who's going to take us into the next presidency? And Trump doesn't want anybody to take that from him. He's not a kingmaker, he doesn't, it goes against everything. Maybe Baron Corbin would be somebody, but even Baron Trump, maybe Baron Trump would be somebody that would get the rub from Donald, but he's not going to support anybody, even if they wanted it, which I don't think in 2 years they're going to want to, because this mega thing is just going to be political poison by then. But if by any miracle that there is still a base that has not cynically sort of shut their ears off to whoever's next in line, Donald Trump is not interested in setting up anybody to take over for him. It's not going to happen. And he is happy enough to take down this movement that he didn't care about in the first place. He's happy enough for it to die with him and the end of his presidency. Not legally die. I don't want the man to die. And so that's it. That's been a pretty interesting week, I think, when it comes to world politics and whatever. And as I said before, now the strait, which was supposed to be opened, has been closed again, or they're only letting 8 ships in. But I mean, these things take time. My understanding is that ships aren't going to be ready to go. The reason why the strait has not even been shut down, but it's just been threats of drones. The threat of drones attacking ships going through the strait is enough for insurance companies to not allow, to not insure any of these ships. So that's why they've stopped. And now that things are back, that there's a ceasefire, it's going to take some time before any of these ships get insured. They're going to want to wait a couple of days to see what's going to happen, if it does happen. So I'm not surprised to see that it's not like floodgates are open, because the practical reasons behind all of it is an insurance matter, and it takes time for insurance companies to change their policy. And this is the world that we live in. It's really run by insurance companies. All right, so going from Donald Trump, who is a political icon, the news in Newfoundland and Canada is our original Donald Trump, Danny Williams, is in the news for the money that he gave. I should take a look at those donations. I think that might mean that I'm soon going to get my money back for when I ran, which is great. I never really put that together until now. But Danny Williams gave 25, 25, 30, 40, 46, it looks like. Yeah, we're getting up there. You donated a bunch of times. Look, whatever, not a big deal. There's no limit on campaign donations in Newfoundland, and that's fine. Danny is a former PC premier. Him donating to his own party is to be expected. And really, the Liberals, the Newfoundland Liberals under John Hogan, are just kind of a listless party that don't have a whole lot to say or do, because they really need to get rid of him. He needs to step down. John Hogan, meaning John Hogan, former Premier John Hogan, needs to step down because he is sandbagging his own party right now. This is what they're talking about. Like, this is why they're only talking about Danny Williams, by the way. There's only so much money in Newfoundland to be donated to political parties, and they really just jump from whoever's in government to whoever's in government. The PC party was broke going into that election year anyways. Going into 2025, they were broke. And all of these, you can see all of these, this paperwork and the financial statements of all three parties in Newfoundland are available. So you could see the Liberals were doing really good because they were in government, and so they are going to be backed by business people. And then, nobody knew that the PCs were going to win the provincial election until that very night, and it surprised a lot of people. And so I don't think that you're going to see that there was a whole lot of support. I mean, I think Steve Outhouse, the campaign manager, came out and said that they barely had any money. The PCs, meaning the PCs, they didn't have a bus. They had like a SUV kind of situation. So there was not a lot of money to be thrown around. They did one or two commercials. Most of it was social media buys, and it's no big deal. Now, the question of whether or not the party and its opinion on the MOU comes from Danny Williams and the money that he spent, I don't think so. I don't think that the PC party changed its thoughts because of donation money when it comes to the MOU. I think that the agreement was in line and already, and from what I could see, from my point of view, and since that deal was first announced at the end of 2024, the thought process immediately from the leadership in the PC party was, what is the rush? Why are we doing this? We need more information. And it really hasn't changed since. Williams firmly believes that it shouldn't be. Danny Williams firmly believes that there shouldn't be any development with the Churchill Falls, and that's fine. But even the process now that has been laid out by Tony Wakeham before the election and now after they're in power is the same thing, which is we're getting an independent council to evaluate it, and then we are going to give it to the people to vote on. And so if Danny Williams got $50K or whatever for that initial campaign, hopefully, and I'm sure he does, have money set aside for when he needs to influence the entire province.
And unions. This professor has long argued for tighter rules on political donations.
We've had governments that have promised to change it and lied to us. It's a known thing. If you want to get contracts from government, you have to give money. And I think that the politicians are perfectly happy with that.
Meanwhile,
and yeah, and it's not going to change because obviously when you're in opposition, you're going to say something like that. It's like electoral reform too, like changing it from first past the post. You're not going to change the rules that got you in power once you get in power. And so, I don't see any reform happening when it comes to how elections are done provincially or federally or donations. Maybe if you get a minority government here, you can change that. You can see some change happening then, but no party in their right mind is going to start limiting their donations while they are in government, while they have control to be able to do that. And it's naive. And I think I think it's pretty naive to complain about it. You're not going to change it. So why are we talking about it? Thank you for that. Best reporter right now on the CBC. Best reporter in Newfoundland? I don't know. Anyways, folks, that is it. I know that there's more to talk about, but it's an hour and a half, and I'm just doing this for fun right now. I'm still trying to iron out the kinks. I'm pretty sure I've been out of focus this entire time. But maybe next time I will be in focus. Please remember, and I should have said this at the beginning, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on wherever you're watching me now. We are on YouTube. We are on X. We are on Facebook. And we are everywhere at GPATCon, and you can call the number down there, 709-552-4850. Leave a message. And we got some messages actually that I didn't get to today, but we will get to in the future. I promise you, we will get to these calls in the future. And also my other show, Pat and Bish versus Everything. I think new episode on Sunday on Versus Everything platform, which is everywhere I just said. So give that a like, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're listening from, tell me what you want to talk about, and I love you. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I got this thing that I always say, which is prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Thank you.